Hey there, I'm Michael from KodeKloud. Welcome to this lesson from our AWS Cloud Practitioner certification course. In this video, we'll help you build a strong foundation in cloud computing with AWS. So if you want to learn more or go deeper, check out the full course details below, and let's get started. And let's talk about the economics in general of cloud computing. Okay. So when we roll right into it, there's a couple of general economic constructs or models that you need to be aware of with AWS. Do note that this is meant to be a general overview. We're going to talk about these specific things in detail, and also know there's a whole section of this course dedicated to billing. So this is just an overview of what's to come and a general idea of how billing and economics work inside of AWS. Let's talk about the first one. The free tier. Okay, so this is a cool concept. I wish it was a little bigger, but that's just my personal opinion, is that Amazon has what's called a free tier inside AWS. And so when you sign up for an account, there are a bunch of services that are free forever. There are some services that are free for 12 months, and you can see them listed here, which means that for the first 12 months after you open an account, you actually get an Amazon EC2 virtual machine for 24/7 for a month for the first 12 months. Notice there storage, it says it's 12 months free for Amazon S3 for 5 gigabytes of standard storage. Same with RDS, same with SageMaker. So there's a bunch of services here that Amazon has put under what's called a low consumption free tier. Some of these, by the way, services are free forever. Some of them are only free for 12 months. Some of them, by the way, have like a short time trial. So you'll see like SageMaker has a 2-month free trial there, right? But notice that DynamoDB and Lambda on the left and right, well, they're free forever. They're, by the way, if you go and search for the Amazon AWS free tier in Google, it will actually take you to a fabulous web page that will allow you to see which services are free and which services are not. Now, that's one factor inside of the economics of cloud. The second, and arguably the most common factor that is used by people, is that you pay for the size of the thing that you ask for. This is known as the on-demand model, which basically says if you ask for a virtual machine or storage or networking of a certain size, you're going to pay for that size. It's just that simple. And when you're done, for example, let's say you ask for 2.1 gigabytes of storage and you ran it for 24 hours for 30 days, you're going to pay for 24 hours times 30 days. And it's just that simple. In other words, you pay for what you either request. So like if you request a virtual machine of a certain size, you're going to pay for that. If you actually use storage of a certain size, you're going to pay for that. And so, for example, you got a 2-processor, 16 gigabyte machine. You kept it for 10 hours and then you shut it off. Guess what? You're just going to pay for the 2 processors and 16 gigabytes that you ran just for those 10 hours. That's on-demand pricing, which means that you just ask for it on demand, and when you're done, you give it up. Now, contrast that with a different kind of economic model, which is also available for a bunch of services called reservations. Now, reservations is different because typically with a reservation, you either make a 1-year or a 3-year commitment to Amazon that says, you know what, Amazon, I'm going to buy that 2-processor, 16 gig of RAM virtual machine, and I promise to pay you for it for a year. And if you decide to shut it off, by the way, and you've made a year commitment, and at month 6 you decide to shut it off, you still actually end up paying. So reservations are where you tell Amazon, I'm going to commit to paying for a year or 3 years, and they will give you a deep discount against all of your usage. By the way, this savings can go up to about 66%, 72% in some cases, depending on if you use different types of reservations. This is a great way to save money for projects that are going to last a year or 3 years. Now, the other economic model that comes into play is that of volume discounts. So as your per unit consumption of, say, something like storage goes up, Amazon will give you discounts as you consume more. So like as an example, here's S3. And let's say with S3, our standard pricing tiers that we pay, 10 cents at the first 50 terabytes, then it might drop to 8 cents for the next 450 terabytes, and then it might drop to 5 cents if you're greater than 500 terabytes per month. So don't use these numbers, by the way, as any kind of like fact. We usually make these numbers up because they change all the time. But know that the more you use, the lower it costs per unit. So kind of a benefit, one of the standard economic models. Know also that as Amazon gets better and more nuanced at running a service, they will actually drop prices. And so what's cool about that, for example, is that since 2006 and in 2023, they've dropped the price 129 times on a variety of services. So you'll see actually price drops, especially as they release new versions of services, they'll drop the price per unit, which is very cool. And so what's funny about the price drop is that usually with the price drop comes a new version of the service that has more features and is faster and is cheaper. So it's kind of nice. So here, for example, they had a price drop where it used to be 15 cents in the US dollar per gigabyte back in 2006 for some S3 storage. And they've dropped it now so that it's 0.023 or 0.026, not 0.23, not 0.26, 0.023, 0.026 US dollar per gigabyte. That is a tremendous drop. That is almost 1/7 of the cost of what it was in 2006. So be aware that AWS does these price drops regularly. You can't predict when they're going to show up, but they've done it over 100 times at this point in time. This, by the way, is in US East 1, which you'll learn what that is later, but that basically is Virginia. So in summary, the first thing to remember is that there is a free tier. Certain services are going to always be free. Some are going to be free for 12 months. Some of them, by the way, are only going to be available for a limited free trial. By the way, remember, this is 12 months after your new account creation. So once that account is older than 12 months, you lose the free tier benefits for those services. Second, remember that on-demand is probably the most common and easiest way to test your ideas and experiment pricing-wise with AWS, but it is full pricing and it is pay-as-you-go, but there's no contract and it's very, very flexible. The third way, in contrast to on-demand, to use a lot of AWS services are basically these 1 or 3 year contracts that you enter with Amazon. And when you enter these contracts, you commit to paying at a much lower price to use these services for 1 or 3 years. You'll learn later, by the way, that there is an opportunity to sell these reservations if you want to get out of them early, but they're typically tremendously cost effective. Know that volume discounts are always at play at a per unit basis, particularly for consumption services like storage or networking. You pay less per unit as you scale up. Know that Amazon has done a number of price drops, and every few years they usually do some on their services. Usually when they release a new version of an old service, they will cut the price, add more features, make it faster and more performant, and you're going to get a lower price point for that feature. If you're ready to take your cloud skills to the next level, don't miss our complete AWS Cloud Practitioner certification course on KodeKloud. With hands-on labs, interactive games, and all the guidance you need to ace the exam, you'll be well on your way to certification. So click the link below to join the course today.